Odetunde Rachel, I can see you. You are welcome. And as you are joining us, kindly drop your location, drop where you are connecting from. We really appreciate your yes, thank you. We appreciate you for joining. Kindly drop your location, drop where you are connecting from. Just drop it in the chat box. Emmanuel, Esther, wow, you're welcome. Yes, I can see Ado Steve. You're welcome. Kindly drop your location where you're joining from in the chat box. And please remember to mute your microphone and turn off your video if possible. Thank you. Oh, Bankole Temiyemi from Ibadan. Great. Thanks for joining us. We are glad to have you around, and I'm quite sure that you enjoyed today's program, Navigating Professional Milestones. I know it's going to be a wonderful one. So thanks for joining us. Please kindly drop your location. Drop where you are connecting from, because we have so many people that will be joining us from different parts of Africa and different parts of the world. So we want to know ourselves. So kindly drop your location, where you are connecting from precisely. Just drop it in the chat box. You're welcome. I can see some people are still joining us. Yes. Oh, great. I can see Odetunde Rachel from Ibadan. Oh, great. I think we have so many people from Ibadan. Okay, let's see the winner today. Okay, Ismaeel Adebayo from Lagos. Okay, you're welcome. Oh, Shalom Okonlao from Ibadan. Okay, I think Ibadan will have the score today. Victoria Desmond from Ibadan. Oh, great. I think Ibadan people are cooperating. That's a great one. Okay, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yes, Adegoke Opeyemi, can you please mute your mic? Thank you. We want you to enjoy the best and have the maximum output at the end. So let's mute our mic and turn off our videos to avoid distraction. We just want to have the maximum of today's program. I can see okay, I can see Egoaba Simon joining us. Yes, we are glad to have you in the room today. As you are joining, kindly go to the chat box and then tell us where you are connecting from. Adenike Adeoye. Wow, that's so great. We are glad to have you around. Please kindly drop where you are connecting from on the chat box. Yes, I can see Tijani Yetunde. You are welcome. Esther Emmanuel from Ibadan. Wow. Wow. Yes, you're all welcome. Okay, I think I've seen so many people from Ibadan. Adebisi Anoluapo from Ibadan. Wow. That's so great. We're glad to have you around. I hope the the host is not also from Ibadan. All right, so I can see Favor. Please, as you are joining, kindly drop where you are connecting from. Yes, I can see Olawi, Favor Boluwatife. You're welcome. Kindly drop your location. Tell us where you are connecting from. We're glad to have you around. Wow. Egwaba Simon from Ibadan. Adegoke Opeyemi from Ibadan. Oh my God. Okay, maybe I should start tagging Ibadan to everyone's name. All right. I think we'll be kickstarting very soon. Yes, I hope we are ready. If you are ready, kindly drop your best emoji. Yes, Tijani Yetunde from Oshogbo. Wow. Finally, I've found one person from Ibadan, one person from Oshogbo. Okay. Sorry, one person from Lagos. Tijani Yetunde from Oshogbo. You are welcome. Yes, please, if you are ready, kindly drop your best emoji. You are ready? Kindly drop your best emoji. We're going to hear from honorable speakers. We're going to hear from, special people. And it's going to be a very wonderful webinar. So I want to see your reaction. Oh my God, Okonla Inioluwa. Thanks for dropping the emoji. I think I love it. Tijani Yetunde from Oshogbo. Oh, I love that too. Oh, yes. I can see Benjamin Ikweso. Wow, that's so lovely. Anoluwapo Adebisi. Wow, that's superb. We're glad to have you around. Oh, Favor Olawi from Ibadan. Ibadan, Ibadan people are having it this evening. And I hope the best of the program is not going to get to people from Ibadan as well. All right, I think we can start with the intro, the opening speech. If you are ready for the opening speech, can you drop your best emoji? I'm quite sure we are ready. I'm quite sure we are expecting something wonderful, something great. So let's stay tuned. Okay, I can see Emefiele. I hope I'm right with the pronunciation. Emefiele, Evelyn. Thanks for joining us. I can see Odetsude from Ibadan. Oh, I think I could see someone from Italy, Benjamin Ikweso. Oh, wow, that's wonderful. That's so great. So we have someone joining us from Italy. We have people joining us from Lagos. We have from Ushogbo. And then the best of all, we have from Ibadan. I hope I'm not being biased now. You're all welcome. Okay, so while we wait for others to join us, while we wait for others to join the program, I would like us to welcome Mr. James Ijiwade for the opening speech. You have the floor, Mr. James.
Yeah, thank you very much. I hope we can all hear me. Yeah, my name is James Ijiwade, and I want to formally welcome every one of us to this webinar. Well, it's the first of its kind organized by Xseler, and Xseler is made up of a team of young minds who are determined or who are motivated to help the young people in this generation. So our motive is basically to help everyone upscale, to help everyone who become a part of our community grow in their careers. So that's the reason, one of the reasons why we are organizing this webinar, because we actually have a community where we um, post jobs and so many other things. But we want to see that the jobs we post by the people who join our community. So just beyond just making dropping those things on the channel, we've decided to uh, come up with a webinar that's going to make sure that we are actually well positioned to get those jobs that we are posting, and also not for those who are job hunting, for those who are trying to switch careers, because there are people who actually want to switch from one career paths to the other, but they're confused. How do I get to switch from this part to this other part I want to get into? So we are here, we exist to help you navigate this part. And also for those who are not looking forward to switching per se, but they want to grow, like you want to grow in your career, you want to grow in your field, right? So that is what Xseler stands for. That's what Xseler has come to do. So we are just starting, and I think we are starting on a good note. And we are very happy to have you join us in this very first edition of our webinar. And we want to assure you that in days to come, or weeks and months, years to come, we'll be having so much more of these, and we'll be coming up with very um, enlightened speakers who will come on this platform once in a while to tell us what we need to do as young individuals to grow, right? Because I know our desire of everyone is to make progress, and it is not the desire of anyone to be stagnant. And in your field, whatever it is you are doing at present, there must have been at a point the drive to grow. Maybe as a young graduate, there must be a drive to get a job, not just any job, but the job you desire to get. There's a particular job you desire to get, you desire to uh, be featured in, and everyone has this passion and desire that they want to grow. So we will help you. As a community, we will grow together, we'll help each other, and we'll help each other till we all realize what we desire to realize. So once again, I want to formally welcome us to this webinar. It's the first of its kind, and I'm hoping that at the end of the day, we'll have something good to talk about this. And at the end of the day, we'll have several takeaways that we will apply, because it's one thing for us to learn and it's another thing to apply it. The real education is when we apply what we learn, because not just when we consume, because we come across a lot of information every day. We come across a lot of information, we read about so many things, but the real learning comes when we apply what we learn. So it is my desire that all what we'll be learning today, we'll apply them, and as we apply them, we'll make progress. So finally, I just want to welcome us once again, and I'm wishing everyone a happy learning process in this webinar. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. James Ijiwade. And once again, you're welcome. So straight up, we go straight to the first thing first. We look at the first part of the program. And because of that, we'll be welcoming our first speaker. And our first speaker for today's program is Mr. Ismaeel Adebayo. And we're going to hear more when he comes up to speak. So, but we need to know our speaker. Who is Mr. Ismaeel Adebayo? Mr. Ismaeel Adebayo has a career that has spanned through education, writing, tech, leadership, and volunteering. He holds a bachelor's degree in industrial chemistry. I think we need to follow through because it's been a wonderful uh, information to know about him. So he holds a bachelor's degree in industrial chemistry from the Adekunle Ajasin University, and he's an MSc holder, MSc in chemical engineering from Nanjing University of Science and Technology, that's Nanjing in China, with over 5 published articles in high reputable journals on water purification and then its availability. He's presently the operations manager for Adva Power, a startup aiming to provide innovation solution to phone devices never running out of charge through a shareable power bank applications. He has held key roles as the Secretary General and Program Coordinator for the African and American Student Association in Nanjing, China, and the Publicity Secretary for the Nigerians in Diaspora Organization, East China to be precise, and among others. And as a volunteer, is currently the Lagos State Coordinator for an NGO, Empowering Women for Excellence Initiative. You can check more about that. Yeah, an organization involved in empowering women and girls in all aspects. He is also a recipient of the prestigious Nanjing Municipal Government Scholarship and contributes to social, economic, and political issues as it affects individuals. Like these and many more you can know about our speaker. So because of that, I want you to join me to welcome Mr. Adebayo Ismaeel. Mr. Adebayo, you have the floor, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ms. Esther Oshikoya. I'm so grateful for the introduction and the welcome message. Yeah, I'm so grateful.
You're welcome, sir.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, should I start now? Or what?
Yes, you can go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I think I'm not allowed to share my screen. I don't know if Mr. James would permit me to share my screen.
Oh, okay. Okay, can
Sorry,
you
you can
try
share
it
now.
again?
You can share now. You can share now.
All right.
While we wait for Mr. Adebayo, please kindly mute your mic and turn off your video. Thank you. So tell us.
Okay, can you see my screen now?
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, you can.
Hello?
Yes, you can see it.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Okay, you can see it now.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, all right. Good afternoon, everyone. And I am glad to be with you all at this moment, anywhere you are joining us from around the world. I think I can also see one of our fathers here, Mr. Shegun Iwade. You are welcome, sir. You are welcome. So I have been given the privilege to speak on the topic, mastering the art of writing an attractive CV and cover letter. Okay, now I will start with the content of my presentation. And from the content, we have from what's a CV to differences between a CV and a resume. Then I will also cover the cover letter part, to include what's a cover letter and the component of a cover letter. Now to start with, what's a CV? So as we all know, a CV is a form of document used by applicants to seek a position in industry or academics. Yeah, I believe none of us here is new to the term CV, and there is no doubt that it is one of the gateways to gaining employed, in the job market. And while it is true that all of us need a CV or a resume, but not all of us do it the right way. Hence, the reason we get automatically disqualified or rejected, when we apply for jobs and scholarships, depending on the type of resume or CV. So we are, and getting it right is the reason for this webinar we are hosting today. And I don't want to know, you may be a first-class graduate, but without a properly aligned CV or resume, there might be nothing for you except through referral. Hence, the CV is the most important thing, or the first important thing, before you could get to the interview stage and before being employed finally. So the CV is a big part of our lives, and we have to take it very, very seriously. Now, this will take me to the next slide. We have type of CV. We have the industrial CV, and we have the academic CV. Basically the industrial CV is used when you want to apply for jobs, maybe as a social media marketer or an accountant or a chemical engineer. Why the academic, is used for applying for scholarships. Maybe you want to further your studies in the MSc, PhD, and for MBA programs and other programs, relating to academics. Now, my next slide. So this includes the component of a CV. Writing a CV is different from getting, properly what you want to write on your CV. And for every CV, you have to follow the details, because nowadays you see companies using automatic AI to discover your CV once some things are not present in the CV. Now, to explain in details the component of a CV, the first thing you have to take note, is the title, which includes your name, your location, your email, your contact, and your LinkedIn profile, although that is optional. And when writing your name, there are two ways in which we can present our names on our CV. For example, if you are bearing maybe Ojoronke Adeoluwa. For example, let's say the Ojo is your surname and Ronke is your first name. And then, is your first name and then your middle name. So when starting with your surname, you have to write all your surnames in capital letter. For example, the Ojo will be in capital letter. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, please, you can go ahead, Mr.
Yes,
Adebayo. Please kindly mute your mic.
All right, thank you so much. Then the Ojo being your surname should all be in capital letter, then followed by a comma. Then your first name and your middle name, each of them should start with a capital letter and the rest, in small letters. So, but the other way you can also use is starting with your normal name, then your middle name and your surname. But in this case, everything has to be in small letters except the first letter of each name. So those are the two ways you can write your name on your CV. Now, the next thing you should take note is your professional summary. For the professional summary, this just gives a brief summary of everything you've been able to do in the past and why you want to join the particular company you are submitting your CV to. And for your professional summary, this includes details like your title or role, what you do or specialize in. Then you should add your experience and how many years you've been doing what you do, and then you highlight your achievements, and then list skills that are most relevant, to the job. For example, your professional summary, maybe you are applying for a financial accounting role. It can be something like a dedicated financial accountant with over 5 years of experience, auditing and executive projects for clients. I possess excellent communication skills and the drive to arrive at the desired goals and objectives, of a company. By this, you've highlighted what you've done in the past, the number of years you've spent in the role you've been, and what you are willing to add, to the company, you are applying into. So by that, the HR would know that, yes, this person is bringing something into our company, considering the number of years of experience, the person has had. Then the next thing you have to consider your CV is your professional or work experience. So you have to use bullet points, in writing your work experience. Then you have to start, from the earliest work you've done, to the latter. For example, maybe you resigned from your past work last year, 2023. So while writing your CV, your work experience should start from last year, maybe, or from the earliest one, from 2023 to 2022, 2021, 2020, and so on. Please, you have to start from your earliest work experience, not from the first work experience you had. Then the next thing is your education. And just like your work experience, for example, maybe as okay in your CV, under your education, you have to start with your, maybe you have a master's degree, then you should start with your master's degree, then your bachelor's degree, secondary school, maybe WAEC, and your primary school. So in that order. So you don't start from primary, secondary, bachelor's, and masters. That is very for a scholarship. Maybe you are going for a PhD. You should also start, from your earliest education, which is your master's, then bachelor's, and so on. So certifications, and this is also very, very important.
Mr. Ismaeel, we can't hear you.
Entrepreneurship opportunity you had, on campus, and all these conferences that you've attended. So you can put all these certifications in your CV, just to make your CV robust and to tell the HR that you are someone who don't just focus on education. You also have other aspects of life, that you are willing, to engage yourself in. So the HR will see you as someone, who has a lot of things to offer, not just the cost of study, not just your course of study. Then awards, this could include maybe you had an award in your department, best student in physics, best student in this and that. So whatever award you think you have, that could add, more minutes to your CV. So you have to add it. Then the leadership experience. This is also one of the most important criteria in your CV. Nowadays, some companies are even more interested in your leadership skills than anything else on the CV. They know that leadership entails a lot, and if you could pass through those stages successfully, so they know that you can cope with any role assigned to you, in the organization. So that is why I laugh at people, whom they call in that department or in their faculty, to hold one leadership position or the other. So we tend sometimes, almost times, we tend to shy away from this leadership experience. And I'm telling you today, you have to take it very, very seriously. In fact, your leadership experience would go a long way, to getting you some jobs that you never believed you could get. For example, I schooled in Ondo State, and there's this particular secondary school. In fact, whenever they are choosing their head boy, in fact, they don't even pick, the best student in the class, maybe in SS2 or SS3, as the senior boy. You know what they do? They pick those people with excellent leadership skills, because they know that in the end, your brilliance might not do it, but your ability to lead others, will take you far in life. I once had an interview, and the HR while going through my, when she saw that I have held positions like the publicity secretary for Nigerians in diaspora in East China, and I was one time a general secretary and program coordinator for the African and American Student Association. In fact, she didn't ask anything from me during the interview. The only thing she went to was my leadership skills, and she asked, "So, how were you able to, to coordinate people from different countries, different regions? How were you able to coordinate them, to achieve, your specific goals?" So, and I explained to them that, I just have to, to bring everyone together, and so that everyone has a common goal, towards the success of the organization. And that was how I got the job. In fact, she didn't even look at my grade or whatever on my CV. So she just went straight to my leadership skills. So that is why it is very important for you, when you have the chance, to be in position of leadership. Please take it very, very seriously. It should add more meaning to your CV. Then for the volunteer experience, you can join all these NGOs, or you can do some voluntary work in your community. So whatever.
Mr.
Hello?
Adebayo, sorry, we can't see your screen. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Yes.
Can you see it now?
Yes. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Yeah. Then for the volunteer experience, it's also, it's also good to share to write whatever volunteer experience you've had on your CV. Then finally, you move to skills. We have two types of skills. We have the technical and we have the soft skills. So the technical skills could be maybe some software development program you've had in the past. And then for the soft skills, it could be your leadership skills, your communication skills, your empathy skills, and the rest. So these are the major components of a CV. So while you are writing your CV, you just have to take note of these key headings in your CV. Then I move to the component of a CV, academic. The one I shared earlier is for jobs. When you're looking for jobs. So, but for academic, it has some features that is not included in the one for job. For example, okay, the title, like I explained earlier, you have to put your name, location, and please take note while you are writing your location on your CV. You don't need to write your full location like number 32, University of Ibadan Drive, Adekunle, and all those things. So just write, for example, you can write Lagos, Nigeria, or Oyo, Nigeria, or Niger, Nigeria. So you don't need to write your full location on your CV. So in the title. Then for the academics, you have to start with your research interest. Sometimes you might get, okay, maybe you have a potential supervisor, in the school you are going, and our research is our research interest. So you have to start your academic CV with your research interest. What are you interested in? Is it water purification? Is it management accounting, or whatever you are interested in? So you have to list your research interest. Then you go to your education. So all the education you've had in the past. So you have to add them to the academic CV. Then you go to your research experience. So whatever research experience you've had in your lab, maybe during your undergraduate studies, during your master study, and whatever the results you had. So you have to add it to your academic CV. Then the next thing is research publications. So whatever publications you've had, in the past, even if it is under review, you have to put it, in your CV. But you have to start with your earliest publication. For example, the paper you published in 2023 should come before the one you published in 2022, 2021, and so on. Then your professional and work experience. So whatever work experience you've had in the past, that aligns with the course you are going for, in your academics. So you just have to write, you write all your work experience, in order from the earliest. Then professional affiliations. So it could be that you are a member of a student society, in your institutions. So all these things you have to write in your CV. For example, you can say member Student Chemical Society of Nigeria, and all those things. You know how you do them on your campuses. So you just have to put them on your CV. Then awards. Whatever award you have won in school or in your community, for example, best graduating student, the top 3 in your department, and all those awards that you've been given in school, please add them in your CV, your academic CV. So the conferences you've attended, so you just have to add all these conferences. They will see that you are not just an academic who stays in the 4 walls of the classroom. So they know that you have also gone out of the 4 walls of classroom to gain additional knowledge, and this would add more meaning to your academic CV. Then volunteer experience, whatever volunteering work you've done, so just add them. Then references. For the for your job CV. So you might not even need to add references. Most times they don't even require references, except it is being stated in the job description for you to write your references. Otherwise, you don't need it. Even for academic CV, sometimes you don't need your references, but sometimes the supervisor you'll be working with over there, will tell you to add 2 or 3 references, that they can contact. Okay, 2 or 3 referees that they can contact. So in that case, you just have to add the references so that they can contact your referees. Then now I present to you a CV sample, just like I've been explaining. If you see this one very well, it is an academic CV. You can see how it is being arranged in order. from the personal info to your education, to work and research experience, then your publications, professional qualifications, honors and award, activities and skills and interests. You can see here, they didn't want to add the reference. So maybe, like I said earlier, when you are being, demanded of, for referees, then you can add them. So I just bring this one to show you an example of how a CV, should be properly written, accordingly. Then I come to the do's and don'ts of a CV. So the first thing you have to do in your CV, you have to take note, is tailor your CV to a specific job advert. Some of us, we just submit a generic CV. In fact, some of us, we've even forgotten that we've submitted a particular CV, for a particular role. For example, you have a degree in chemical engineering or accounting, and then you also have maybe you have a tech skill. Maybe you are a front-end developer or back-end developer. Now you've submitted a particular CV, for your chemical engineering or your accounting role. Maybe later you want to submit for tech. In fact, some of us, we are even careless about the way we arrange our CV on our laptop. Some of us, the CV we submit for chemical engineering or accounting, we will even mistakenly submit it, for a tech role. Please, let us be careful of these things. You have to arrange your CV properly on your laptop. You have to create a folder, maybe for your chemical engineering or positions that you'll be applying for, or for your accounting positions, or for your tech, position. Please don't submit a generic CV for whatever job info, you come across. Then you have to avoid grammatical errors. This is a turn off, for any company. Please, by all means, make sure you proofread your CV very well. You can also use Grammarly and whatever English correction tool you can use, just to make sure that you avoid some errors. Some errors are unforgivable. So you have to be careful, about this area. Then ensure your educational work experience and similar things start from the earliest. I think I have explained that, before. Then do not lie on your CV. It will haunt you during the interview. Some of us, we think because we are so desperate to get a job, so we cook every type of lies on our CV. What you've not done, you claim you've done it. So when you are luckily called for the interview, then they ask you, on what you wrote on your CV. Then you begin to stammer, and you don't even know what to say. In fact, that is even a dent, on your own personal self, and a shame to you. So please, whatever you think you've not done, or that doesn't align, with what you've done in the past, please do not add it to your CV. Do not lie on CV. Then find someone you can trust for proofreading. I've said that earlier, just to avoid grammatical errors. We can't be too perfect. So sometimes you need 2 or 3 people or one person, to help you refill your CV for any error. Then ensure consistency and tell a compelling story about your password. So what I mean by ensure consistency is that, for example, when you write under your education, when you write your master's degree, you might put the date. You start your master's degree and the date, you ended it. So when you add the date, then you come to your bachelor's degree, then you didn't put any date. That is not consistency. So whatever you do, from the beginning to the end of the CV, you have to make sure it is consistent. And not that you start with a font. Maybe you start with Time News Roman, on the headings. Then you come to the middle. Then you now change to Area or Cambria. No, that is not professional enough. You have to ensure that whatever you start your CV with, you have to end it with. Maybe from date, from the font you use, and all those. Then I say you have to tell a compelling story about your password. This involves, you telling, what you've done in the past, and not just, for example, in your CV, under your work experience. Let it be competency-based. That is the result of your work and not just the work you do. For example, if you work as a customer care service person in an organization before, in your CV, it is better to say that I contributed to a 50% increase in customer satisfaction by communicating effectively with customers and resolving technical issues. This is far better than just saying I work as a customer care service. What did you do? So organizations wants to know your contributions, to the organization you are coming from. Not just say, okay, I work in the water treatment department. What did you do in the water treatment department? So that should be your goal. Under your work experience, you use verb and limit adjective. What I mean by verb, that is action word. What did you do? Did you increase sales by 60% or by 70%? So you just don't say, okay, I work in the sales department. What did you do? So you have to tell a compelling story about your past work. So this will make the new organization, trust the work you are coming to do for them. So let me be fast. So these are some of the online resources you can use for your CV writing. If you are in doubt or you don't know how to write CV sometimes, you can go to some of these resources online: google.com, Canva, enhancedcv.com, lifecareer.com, resume.io, then etc. So now, this thing, I just bring this one as a special notice for us. So I said online CV. So what I mean by online CV is your social media presence and what you post on a daily, is a reflection of your CV. That is, this shows that you have to be mindful of whatever you put on your social media page, because companies believe you are a reflection of what you put online, which definitely would also have an impact on their organization. For example, okay, on Wednesday, I was reading, a job advert on Twitter that the HR was asking, for the Twitter handle, of people that will be applying, for that global remote role. So this means you have to be intentional about what to put online. Okay, for example, let's say an HR, goes to your Twitter account or your LinkedIn or your Facebook, just to check your activity, and all they see, on your Twitter is how an Igbo man is better than a Yoruba man, how a Yoruba man is better than an Hausa man. Automatically the HR would assume that you are a very tribalistic person, and knowing that you'll be working with people from diverse background in their organization, they will never consider you, even though you have a first class or your CV is good. Organization value people, that can work hand in hand with others, not just about your qualification. So please, you have to be careful about what to put on your social media page. It's a reflection, of your own self. And another thing is that you have to use your real name, or let your username on your social media handle be your real name. Okay, for example, now on your CV, maybe the name you are bearing Yetunde. Then on your Twitter page or your Facebook page, you turn it to Miss Yeti, or you are bearing Folashade, you turn it to Miss Shady. What are you shading? Please try and put your real name, so that people and companies, can resonate with that name when they see it through your CV and then your online presence. So now, just a brief difference between a CV and a resume. Sometimes some organization will tell you to submit CV, and another time they will tell you to submit a resume. So these are the major differences between a CV and a resume. So a CV is usually of 3 to 5 pages, depending on your experience, and while a resume is usually 1 to 2 pages. So a CV generally functions for academia, research, grant, and fellowship. And that is why, it is usually very lengthy when compared to a resume, that functions for job. So that is why when you are applying for a particular job, and you aren't sure of what to submit, maybe either a CV or a resume, please, it is better for you to submit a resume, because a resume is usually short and it is usually tailored, to jobs, unlike CV, that is particularly tailored to for academia. So, and that is why on a resume, you don't write anything on a resume. You have to be specific, and you have to go straight to the point, because it doesn't allow, for much pages like the CV. So now, these are the list of countries, that accept resume and CV. Maybe you want to apply for jobs outside Nigeria, or you are applying for, for some roles. So I bring to you some of the, uh, the countries and what what they accept most of the time. So for you, you see, it's the resume. So just 1 or 2 pages, is enough. Why you are applying for Canada. So for UK, Ireland, New Zealand, so they are more preferred, you know, it's more preferable to use CV for them. Then for countries like Australia and most countries in Africa, Asia, and Europe, okay, you can submit a resume and a CV. So depending on the country you are applying for a particular role or job. Now, moving to a cover letter. So what is a cover letter? A cover letter is a document submitted alongside your CV and resume, that describes your relevant experience and qualifications and why you are interested in the role. Most times in your CV, what you only do is to bullet, your point. But the cover letter, gives you that chance, to talk more about yourself, what you can do, or what is not stated on your CV. So you have the chance in your cover letter, to express yourself fully. And now I'll be taking us to the content, to the components of the cover letter. We have the addresses. When I say addresses, there has to be two addresses on the cover letter: your own address and the address of the company you are addressing your cover letter to. Then we have salutations. For example, dear hiring manager, hello hiring manager. Then the title of the job you are applying for. Then introduction, body, and conclusion. So let me show you a sample from the ones from one I wrote, in the past. Now this is it. This first page is your the address. You can see the address, Ismaeel Adebayo. Then my address goes thus. Then phone number, email, and the date you are writing and you intend to submit the cover letter. Then the address of the company you are trying to address your cover letter to. Mobile, Lekki Expressway, Victoria Island, Lagos, and all those things. So then you leave a space. You now start with hello hiring manager or dear hiring manager. And sometimes, if you can go the extra mile, to check for the name of the hiring manager of their company online. So that is also, welcome. In fact, it is most preferable. But in a case where you don't get the name of the hiring manager, it is just good to use a general salutation, as in like you have it here, like hello hiring manager, dear hiring manager. Now, you go to the title under the hello hiring manager. You can see how I wrote it: application for the position of ExxonMobil internship program. So I intentionally wrote this for some of us, that have not yet had any work experience. Maybe you want to apply for internship program. However, this method, work for whatever job you are applying for. So your introduction should be about, how you come across that job, and what you intend, as in to do with that job. When you get it. If you can read my my introduction, I said I came across the above advertised internship opportunity while surfing through the internet and seeing sustainability. So you have to go through that company's profile. What did they do? Or what is their core mission? Now I went to the website of ExxonMobil. I saw that their core, the core mission of ExxonMobil is around sustainability. So you have to add those key points. In fact, it is those key points, that the HR would look, that they will know that, wow, this person has gone through, through the profile of the company very well. Then you come to the body, of your cover letter. In the body, you have to state, what you are willing, to learn from the organization. And it is not just about what you are willing to learn. You should also state, what you intend to contribute, to the organization. Please don't be selfish. Everything shouldn't be about you. While you are aiming to get something from the company, so also be willing to pour back, to the company. Now look at this one now. For example, you are an intern. You don't even have any work experience yet. You don't even know what to do. So how can you give back, to the company? Now look at the way I wrote it. Starting a career with ExxonMobil through this internship opportunity will give me the wings to fly, to aim for the top, and to keep believing in the widening of my horizon to succeed in this industry. Okay, while at it, I hope to use the acquired knowledge. That is the knowledge the company will be giving to you as an intern to contribute positively to the growth of ExxonMobil. So, which means the knowledge, being impacted, on you by the company, you are also returning a favor, to the company, by by carrying out vibrant research activities to discover more ways of preserving our habitat and environment in the general. So it means what you intend to add to the company, also aligns, with the core missions, of the company you are applying to. Then after that, you have to move to the conclusion. So which is, stating that you are available for any one-on-one interview or virtual interview, as the case may be. Then you have to thank them, thank them for their time, to go through whatever you might have written. Then you end it with sincerely, then your signature and your name. So now, in summary, so I summarize everything, concerning CV and cover letter. So the first thing is that you have to read job descriptions well before submitting CVs and cover letter. So like I said, please avoid submitting a generic CV or cover letter. You have to table each CV and your cover letter, in accordance with the particular job you are applying to. So don't just submit anyhow CV for all jobs you see online. Then avoid plagiarism. So some of us are used to to using ChatGPT AI. Yes, you can use ChatGPT. ChatGPT can even help you improve, on whatever you've written at first. What you have to do is that just write first, then take it to ChatGPT, to help you, structure your writings. So that is better than just, writing whatever you see on ChatGPT or whatever site you see online. So please, at all costs, you have to avoid plagiarism. Okay, like I said, do not submit a generic CV. Then prove the document well, and if possible, find someone to help with that before submitting. Then avoid lying on your CV. Be mindful of your online presence. It tells a lot about your personality. Don't save and send your CV as CV or my CV. So while you are saving your CV on your, on your laptop, and you want to attach it, to a particular job applications. So instead of saving it as CV or my CV, you have to use your name then CV. For example, Ismaeel Adebayo CV. So things like date of birth, state of origin, religion, marital status, and the likes should not be included in your CV. So no one cares about that. Those ones are for your, maybe your biography or whatever. Please do not include all these things in your CV, except you are being asked, by the organization to add it to your CV. So minimize the use of yours faithfully in your cover letter. So instead, use something like sincerely or best regards in your cover letter. Now, on the final note, after you have done all of this, sometimes getting a job would seem like a roller coaster. It takes time and persistence. You will sometimes doubt your ability after getting rejections upon rejections, but do not fret. Do not lose your faith. Your dream job will come at the right time. Thank you for your time.
Wow. Thank you, Mr. Adebayo. It's a wonderful section, and I believe you've been able to get one or two things during the course of the talk. Kindly use your best emoji if you really get one or two things. Thank you very much. So while we wait for the next speaker to come up, we quickly want to do fastest finger. Fastest finger. So if you are there, you are using Glow, MTN, Airtel. Just be ready. It's time for fastest finger. So I call on Miss Ojo to quickly take that section.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, according to what country we are coming from. Okay, are we ready? If you are ready for this, let's drop our best stickers in the chat box to reflect if we are fired up. Let's keep it rolling, keep it rolling, keep it rolling. Yes. Okay. MTN users, are you ready? Now let's go. I will just call this once. After this, then I will drop it in the chat box. Ready to go, MTN users? MTN users in the house. 0816 7288 8199 82829. Okay, once you get it, signify in the box. The next MTN users 9344 1337 311 982 718. MTN users, fastest fingers, who are the right people. If we've seen it, if we are able to load it, let's signify in the chat box. Now, the Glow users. Glow users, are we ready? Glow users, are we ready? If you're ready, let's signify 4991 6839 7158 844. 4991. Sorry, I promised to say this just once. So let's know if you've gotten that. I'm not seeing anything here. I'm not seeing anything. Can we notify us once you get it? Okay, let me put it in the chat box.
Okay, so while we wait for Miss Ojo to put the digits on the chat box, I'll quickly want to introduce the next speaker because the time is fast spent. So in the house today, we are honored to welcome Miss Jessie Ifeanyi. Miss Jessie Ifeanyi is a distinguished mathematical and data engineer. And then she has a robust background in mathematical and data engineering. Miss Jessie brings a wealth of knowledge and expertise to the table. Well, in addition to her professional accomplishments, she is a dedicated coordinator Tech Club. You may want to check that online. Capacitydey Tech Club is a prominent NGO committed to empowering youth through technology. Her work at Capacitydey Tech Club reflects her passion for fostering the next generation of tech leaders and innovators. So in this section, Ms. Jessie will be guiding us on the crucial aspect of building confidence during interviews. Our insights and strategies will be invaluable for anyone looking to enhance their interview skills and boost their professional confidence. Join me as I welcome Ms. Jessie as she share her invaluable experience. Ms. Jessie, you are welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm excited to be here. Thank you, Xseler, for the opportunity to speak today in this meeting. I am going to be speaking on building your confidence during interviews. Okay. So I am Jessie, like Esther introduced me, a mathematical and data engineer. I am passionate about building tech skills and empowering youths. So I am a current member of Capacitydey Tech Club, where we try to give youth hands-on projects and mentorship to build their tech career and to like give you that overall preparedness to go in job ready. Okay. So today we are going to be talking about the importance of self-confidence, techniques to building your self-confidence before and during the interview, and what you need to watch out for. That's like pitfalls and how to avoid them. Okay. So self-confidence is important because, first of all, when you are shortlisted for an interview, it means that you are highly considered for that role. But you need to understand also that you are not the only one being considered for that same role. So it's like a competition. You have many people with different skill sets. And the truth is that somebody that has less skill sets can sell themselves better and land the job, even more than someone that seems to have more competence. Now, there's a beauty of having the balance of both, but this self-confidence sets you apart from the rest. Okay. I believe everybody can see my screen.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, we can see your screen.
Okay, thank you. For the importance of self-confidence, self-confidence is believing in your abilities and your judgment. And how do you show that you believe in your ability? You have to know what you applied for. Like my colleague said when he was introducing how to prepare for your CV and applying, he said research the company. It's very important. It builds your confidence. It makes you ready. It sets you apart. Different roles are seeking for different skill sets. Take a notepad, write down, oh, I'm applying for this role. They are looking for SQL, they're looking for Python, they're looking for a bit of this. Oh, I don't have this, but I have something close to this. I have an experience in this. Write those things down. The truth is that somebody else is selling themselves the best way they can. So why shouldn't you? Write it down. Okay, I have had an experience attending a lecture in graph theory. I don't have any practical experience, but I have also done some research on tools that we could use. Grubby, I could do this. This shows that you are not just a bundle of skills. You are somebody that is devoted to continuous learning. It also helps you speak like you know what they want. A company is not hiring you to come and play. They're hiring you because they need you to come and add value to their company. So when you speak, you need to speak with action terms as well. You need to be able to say, oh, I have done this, I improved this. This is how I contributed to this society. When I came in here, there was no, how do I say it now? Like, okay, in a company I worked in before, an accounting firm, they didn't have any use of technological organization of their data. So in my CV, you can see something like introduced digital filing system. And when I speak, I can say, I don't just like to come into a community, a setting and leave it the same way I came. I'm an action person. I try to see how best to improve a place and I do it. I communicate well with so all these things are based on your research of the company, their skill sets, what they are looking for, and what you can give to that role. The truth is that confident individuals tend to seem more competent, tend to display more positive body language, smile more, look more relaxed. In short, convert their interview to conversations. Okay? And that's what you want. Interviewers tend to equate like confidence with competence. If you can tell me that you know this is what this role is about, you know this is where your skill set is and this is how you would approach the problem to improve yourself or to relate to their company, it tells me that you are competent enough to work for me. Do you understand what I mean? Okay. Confidence is a feeling of self-assurance because you appreciate what you can do, your qualities, how you think, how you research. But pride is a whole different level. You don't want to be in an interview scenario and argue with your interviewer. That would be very disastrous. That shows them that you don't listen, you are pompous and arrogant, and nobody wants to work with that kind of over-sabi attitude. Okay? So let's talk about techniques to boost your confidence. You can boost your confidence before the interview, during the interview, and you can try to avoid some particular pitfalls that are common in interview. Now, before the interview, you need to do your homework, basically. You do the research, okay, create your notes, write down questions, ask questions. I don't know how you come to an interview and you don't have any question. Of course, okay, does this role exist before? Is it a new role or it has existed before? What do you expect from me in the first 1 to 3 months? How is there a way, how is the onboarding process for this role or at the company? This thing shows that you already see yourself working with them. The truth is that interviewers are scared that people are just carelessly throwing their CVs anyway, and they're not really passionate about the company. They don't really see themselves there. So confidence, you can turn your confidence to show them that you are prepared for the role that you applied for. You see yourself as part of their company by asking questions. Asking questions turns your interview into a conversation. Okay, when you first came into this company, how was it? How was your experience like? What was like a challenge you faced that you feel like you wish someone had told you about? So you need to just take down some questions. Depending on how the conversation goes, some questions might be relevant, some might be you ask at the right time. Of course, in interview settings, they would ask you, do you have any question? You don't want to just say, no, I don't have any questions. How can they could not have answered all your questions? Never. You can also ask questions and say, okay, I know that this is a new role, and you would be asking me, this is what I did for a particular interview that I had here. And because I was new in the Europe setting, I didn't want to shoot myself in the foot. I didn't want them to ask me, what is your salary expectation? So I asked them first. I was like, what is the salary scope for this role in this setting? And do you think your company can match up to it? This is big. This depends. You can't just ask any question anyhow. So it depends on your setting, it depends on the scenario, and it depends on what you need to know. Ask more pressing questions. 3 questions is enough. You don't want to begin to seem like somebody that is burdening like the interviewer. Okay. In the interview setting, you might get tensed. You might be asked hard questions. So you need to practice how to calm your nerves. Okay. Practice how to talk slowly, especially if you are going to be talking to people of diverse background, because your mother tongue interference can make you not communicate as best as you would like to. So you might want to check in with them from time to time. Okay, do you hear me? Did you get what I said? Not so often, just you're not looking for over validation. You just want to come across as clear as you can. Okay, so you can also practice with people around you that when you are tense, you don't begin to rush your speech or something. Another thing is that most interview in this time and age are online. Okay, so you don't want to enter the interview unprepared because it's going to destabilize your composure. You don't want to enter the interview without good network connection. It would make you so destabilized that you're trying to find your data connection, you're trying to do this, and you know, you're just scattered. It also comes across as somebody that's not prepared, somebody that do not take them seriously. And if it is a remote role, it's a really big red flag. So you need to explore the app you're going to use, check your environment. Is the network good for the environment that you're going to be using for the interview? Okay, then you need to familiarize yourself with the setting. Let's say we are using Google Meet. You need to know where the camera is, where the mic is. Be prepared to turn on your camera. Don't assume that I'm going for this interview and I would not be asked to turn on my camera. It's not always true. This is what I mean. If I came into this meeting and I was not prepared and they told me, oh, you need to turn on your camera, I'm going to start looking for my trouser and my shirt, and you're like, is this person coming for an interview or is not ready for this job? Okay, so that's basically pre-interview. One other one other hack I use is that if I get like my interview invite from a known name, like the person's name comes with the interview, Jessie Ifeanyi, I take my time to go online, on Google, on LinkedIn, to search this person's name. I want to know a bit about the person because it makes you less tense. It makes you see this person as a person. It makes you see the person's interest, because sometimes most interviews actually divert. I'm telling you, you might have planned and over prepared for an interview that you're going to be answering technical questions, but you go in there and they're like, oh, so you also like playing chess? What is your this thing? Where was the last time? And you are just surprised that like the whole conversation diverted just because you did some level of research, and it calms the environment down for you to talk to this person like a friend and be able to think clearly. Okay, so research your interviewer is very, very good. Okay, so moving on, during the interview. Now you're in the interview, you need to follow some 4 Ps, okay? Come to the interview on time. Be punctual. Personally, I like to be in the interview 10 to 5 minutes before the time. Not too early. Cannot just start the interview 30 minutes before the time. Of course, most times you have to wait for them to admit you or something like that. But it also shows that if you come too early, it shows that you don't have good use of your time. Like you don't have anything important to be doing. That's why, yeah. So even physical interviews, personally, I don't come too early. I come on time, 10 minutes, 5 minutes before the time. Okay, it's very important. So you can sit down, you can look around, you can on your mic, you can check if your network disconnected in that area, even though you had tested it before. Okay, when you're in the interview, you need to be polite. You need to talk to your interviewer the way you would like to be spoken to. You cannot become arrogant. Use the person's correct title. If you are in a research interview setting, you don't want to call a professor sir. It's not that it is totally bad, but it gives this person a sense of, okay, yes, you get me, you respect me, okay? You did your homework, you know who I am, and you're respecting me for who I am, okay? Be prepared. That's the preparation stage you do before the interview stage. Now, when you're in the interview, the preparedness we're talking about is ready to take deep breaths, think before you answer, okay? And be positive. Put a smile on your face, okay? Real smile, please. Don't put a kind of smile that scares the interviewer. You don't want to smile like you are scared. You want to smile relaxedly. You want to smile like you belong there, okay? Okay, so moving on. These are pitfalls you need to avoid, okay? You can be very prepared and become very rigid. You don't want that. In an interview setting, some parameters you might have organized for yourself. Let's say you have taken your time to watch YouTube videos on how to answer some particular question. This doesn't mean that you do not take your time to listen, really listen to what the interviewer is asking. You don't want to just jump off. And this doesn't mean that you fix yourself to answer how you have pre-planned. Then you start, what did I want to say? Start thinking, I said it this way. You know, that rigidity can even take away that your confidence. So you need to be prepared to be flexible. Okay, don't speak too fast. Take deep, conscious breath. If you are someone that naturally speaks very fast, you need to be aware of yourself in that setting, especially if you're in international settings, because they might not hear you, and that is the truth. And you might, I had a friend that he passed all the stages of application for the interview. He did assessment, like cumbersome stages that people do not usually pass. And it came to the face-to-face interview, and the issue was that he was speaking too fast. They couldn't understand him. Okay. He was so frustrating for him. So if you know you're going to be in an interview in an international setting, you might need to learn how to pronounce your words, you might need to practice this like more deliberately. You might need to take conscious breaths and not rush. Okay, research the company, because not researching the company is going to make you say things that are very irrelevant, and you lose the opportunity to have gained the job that you really wanted. Okay, so you don't want to later find out after the interview that I just applied for everything and I'm in the, what do you want to know? And both of you are saying at each other like, I don't know what you want. Tell me what you want now. Tell me who you are now. It really shows that you are not doing your own work. You don't want the job, basically. Okay. Listen to the question before you answer. Don't interrupt the interviewer. Don't say, oh, I know what this person is about to ask. I've attended so many interviews. I've done 1,000 interviews by now. Before the interviewer asks, I know what she wants to ask. No, you might just be answering the wrong question and come off as somebody that is not attentive to details and somebody that is not patient to listen. Okay, think.
Attention, please. You have
Okay.
few minutes left.
Yeah. I'm wrapping up. Think before you speak. Okay. When they ask you questions, they know that you are hearing it for the first time, so they don't expect you to just jump on it. You might get scared on mute while you are thinking and you have taken conscious breath. You need to say something like, okay, thank you for your question. This icebreaker makes you calm to continue putting your thoughts together and relay it properly. Okay, so confidence is not overconfidence. Okay, when you are overconfident, it becomes arrogance and it's not pleasant. Okay, it's confidence is not arrogance, it's not reliance on external validation. You cannot keep asking the interviewer, am I doing well? Did I answer the question? Like, why? What is that? You can't do that. Okay, confidence tells the interviewer that you are sure of yourself, like you have some confidence in your abilities, the way you are speaking, the way you approach problem solving. It, confidence is not fake confidence. Okay, if you want to pretend that you understand everything about the company when you have not done any research, once pressure comes, you break, or you want to lie that you did something in a previous job, and when the pressure comes, when they ask you deep questions, you break. That's the truth. Now, like I said in the beginning, confidence and competence are best when they go hand in hand. You can't substitute competence with confidence. You can't say that you don't need actual skills because you built yourself to be able to speak well, to be able to convince people that you can do things well. True confidence comes when you are very prepared and you understand the subject matter that you're working with. Okay, so that's it from me. Best of luck, and we are rooting for you.
My God, thank you very much. We are rooting for you as well. Thank you. We appreciate your time and effort. This is so amazing. So while we wait for the next speaker, thank you very much, Miss Jessie. I call on Miss Ojo to take the next fastest finger. I hope you are ready this time around. I know some persons might have missed the first one, but there is another opportunity. So please make do with this next opportunity.
Okay, let's be first. Airtel users, are we ready? Airtel users in the house, are we ready? Let's go. 1332-8684-2632-3895. Once you get it, just give us a thumb up on the chat box. Then another round for MTN users. MTN users in the house, let's go. 2932-3106-6500-707075. Let me call it again because of the error. 2932-3106-6500-07075. Then the second MTN users again, 0400-3506-8768-39895. Once you get it, just give us a thumb up on the chat box. Then for Glow users in the house, are we ready? 49431-250-76-41441. Again, 49431-250-76-41441. Then lastly, for this round, we call on Airtel users in the house. Airtel users again, are we ready? 1577-4962-2376-7344. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Ojo. So there is a general announcement here. There will be a collection of CVs for the after the webinar for distribution. So you can check the link will be dropped. Please kindly take note of that. Also, there will be issuance of certificates to attendees. Please use the same link for that. And then we are also encouraged to join the Xseler channels, their social media handles. And please let's try as much as possible to follow Xseler on social media handles. And then please try as much to practice what you've learned today. I mean, I've learned a lot personally at my end, from Mr. Ismaeel to Miss Jessie. So for the last dose for the day, I would like to welcome the last speaker for the day. So it is with great pleasure to introduce our esteemed speaker, Mr. Olushola Adewale Oyetola. Quickly, let me tell you a little about Mr. Olushola because there are lots to know about him. Mr. Olushola Adewale Oyetola has had a distinguished and dynamic career, demonstrating exemplary leadership and expertise across various industries. Mr. Oyetola began his professional journey at Churit Farmer, where he served as operations manager. His exceptional performance in this role led to his promotion to business manager. Wow. Showcasing his ability to drive operational efficiency and strategic growth. Then he transitioned to the banking sector, joining Oceanic Bank as a relationship manager. His tenure was marked by his commitment to fostering client relationships and driving financial solutions. Following the acquisition of Oceanic Bank by EcoBank in 2012, Mr. Oyetola continued to excel as a marketer, which further enhanced his expertise in the financial service industry. Expanding his horizons, Mr. Oyetola took on the role of logistics and camp manager at Noriko Engineering Limited, where he managed complex operations and logistics, demonstrating his vast managerial skills. Currently, Mr. Oyetola is the HR head and CEO of Eniola Consultation Firm. In this role, he leads with vision and strategic acumen, guiding the firm to new heights and ensuring the highest standards of human resource management. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Olushola Adewale Oyetola. You are welcome, Mr. Olushola.
Hello, hello.
Hello, we can hear you, Mr.
Oh,
Olushola.
yeah. Good evening, everyone. I'm so happy to be part of the movement. I sincerely also appreciate the Xseler, the workforce, the people working behind the scene, and my good friend as well. And I am very grateful for the invite and for having me among you guys. I'm so honored. However, I want to appreciate the previous speakers. They've spoken well. It's good. It's good to refresh. It's good to know more about some issues and some things as well. It's very good. Now, I know that we've spent so much time. I will not take much of our time. My slide
Thank
is
you.
hello, hello,
Yes,
am I
we can
on?
hear you. Yes, you are.
Yeah, yeah, thank you very much. I have my slide before you this evening, cutting across eight subtopics, eight subtopics. However, before going into that at all, I I want to tell everyone listening to me that you guys are very fortunate. You guys are lucky to be part of this movement. Now, it's been long that we've seen some set of people coming together to form this kind of movement, at least coming together to render a service that will bring succor, a service that will bring solution to the problem of the youth. Because I quite believe that most of us that we are listening to me now, most of us are youth. And from the previous speakers, I discovered that most of us too are students, which is very good enough. You know, it's always good that you prepare ahead of time. It's always good that you prepare ahead of challenges that you might face in one way or the other. However, because of our time, I don't want to go much into that, but I want to say well done to them. They've done really good. Let me quickly go to my topic, which has to do with removing the bottleneck in recruitment process. You know, nowadays, so many companies in Nigeria today, due to economic reasons, they are insourcing. They are using companies to recruit for them. However, whether the company is recruiting directly or whether they are using outsourcing firm to recruit for them, it's all the same when you get to the interview table. Now, when we are talking about recruitment is when you bring in new hire to your organization. You know, in those processes, there are so many problems attached to that processes. So, by the grace of God, this evening, we are trying to see how we can reduce those bottlenecks. However, we might not eradicate it permanently, but at least we can reduce it to the BRS minimum, to the BRS minimum. When we are saying bottleneck is a point at which a flow becomes delayed or breakdown. You know, it's a process. You know, okay, for example, you are going to a particular place or you have been moving, and when you just get to a certain road, you discover that they've closed the gates. Oh, which means the movement is not possible again. However, you now be thinking of how can I maneuver? How can I get my way across the other way? So by that, we'll start by saying some things. The first one that we're going to talk about is one of the reasons what we are discussing now. It has to do with how we can remove the bottlenecks. We can remove the bottlenecks in recruitment processes. One of the ways in which you can remove it permanently is when there is no lack of clear objective and scope. When there is no lack of objective and scope. You know, when there is no, the Bible says, when there is no vision, my people perish. So, which means when there is no objective and when there is no scope, there's a problem. So, by not defining the objective, by not telling the people your scope. Hello? Hello?
Hear you.
Hello?
We can hear you. Yes, we
Okay,
can hear
okay,
you. Thank you.
okay. Because there is a little bit network issue where I am presently. So sorry about that. Now, when there is no clear objective and scope, you understand. When we are talking about objective has to do with what you have in plan, the objective. You understand? In every company, they always have their objective. What do they believe in? The objective, what do they believe in? Then we are talking about the scope. Objective and scope, they go together. But objective is more wider than a scope. A scope has to do, a scope has to be definite. Oh, this is our scope. Oh, these are our objectives, and this is our scope. So, resolving by defining a clear, measurable goals and detailed scope, ensuring all parties understand through documentation and regular communication. Through documentation and regular communication. One of the ways that we can remove a bottleneck is a recruitment process is when we have a thorough documentation and a regular communication. In some companies, by the grace of God, there are some companies that we are managing. You understand? At a particular point in time, they call us. We have meetings. Sometimes we have a quarterly meeting. Sometimes we have by quarter. Sometimes we have by annual. Sometimes we have annual meetings that has to do with talking to the management of that particular company. So in those meetings that we used to have with them, we have what we call a thorough documentation. You understand? For example, there's a particular license that is being renewed. You have to make those licenses available because if you don't make those licenses available for the company to have, definitely it will tamper with their recruitment processes. Not only that, there should be a regular communication. You've supplied them the new hires that they'll be working for them, and at a particular point in time, there should be a communication. The communication it can be verbal, and we have some communication that will be documented. Verbal, what I mean, when they give you a call, there's some communication that it will be a written one. And thank God for technology nowadays. There's something it has to do with mail, WhatsApp, and so many other means. However, having said all this, we must have it at the back of our mind that when we don't have a clear objective and a clear scope, then there's a problem with our recruitment processes. Let's go to the second point. Now, I want to say this. I will try to be fast as much as possible. Then I will entertain questions. I'm going to entertain questions because there are some areas that I might not be able to touch. With the experience,
Yes,
I should be able to.
there's a
Hello?
section for that. There's a section for question and
Oh,
answer. Yes,
good,
yes. Thank
good,
you.
good. Now, the number 2 is inadequate vendor selection. Inadequate vendor selection. When we talk about vendor are the people, they are the company that are rendering one service or the other for you at that particular point in time. You might have some vendors that are into safety. You might have some vendors that cater for your kitchen. You might have some vendors that cater for your health. You understand? In Nigeria of today, we have so many companies, they have outsourced most of their departments. They've outsourced them. Like, for example, it's in banks nowadays. When you enter some banks, you discover that, out of the 30 staff they have there, we only have like 2 to 3 that are permanent staff. Others are outsourced. Other staffs are being outsourced. So number 2 is inadequate vendor selection. You understand? Nowadays, when we talk about RFP, RFIs, and co. Now, we're talking about the request for proposal. That is for the RFP. And when we talk about the RFI, and talk about the request for information. You know, when all those two things are missed, then there's a problem with recruitment processes. So, and how can we remove it? Because that's the essence of where we are meeting today. How we can remove it is very simple. Is when we ensure that our vendor selection is in top notch. When we ensure that our vendor selection, we don't mix things with it. We don't allow sentiment to set in. We don't allow familiarity to set in. We don't allow, oh, this one belongs to my tribe, this one belongs to my religion set. We don't allow it to set in. Then we can have what we call a good vendor selection. A good vendor selection. You know, when we have a good vendor selection, definitely we are going to have a good processes. And definitely we are going to have what we call a real time doing business together a real-time doing business together. So inadequate vendor selection is one of the problem, is one of the bottlenecks in recruitment processes. You know, when we're able to remove that inadequate, when we ensure that we do the needful, when we ensure that we cross the T's and dot the I's in our recruitment process, then definitely we're able to remove the bottlenecks from our recruitment processes. So having said all this, we must have it at the back of our mind that at every particular point in time, when we are doing a vendor selection, we must ensure that we do our request for proposal, we do it properly, our request for information, we do it properly, then our request, even for quotation, when we are on board, there's what we call RFQ, that's request for quotation, you understand. So that's that about that. Let's go to the third point. The third point. The third point is communication gap. Wow. This is one of the major problem. This is one of the great bottleneck in recruitment processes. You understand? We've seen some instances that some people will come for an interview and you ask them, oh, you came for an interview, they say yes. Oh, can you tell us the role that you are applying for? Then you begin to listen to all sorts of words, all sorts of department, even the department that we did not request for at all. So when we don't have a clear communication, when there's a communication gap, definitely there'll be recruitment processing problem. So we must be aware. We must be aware. At every particular point in time, we must be aware of what we are doing. We must be aware about the recruitment of that particular company. We must not go into a company and begin to ask some questions and become like a fool. No. Once you have your communication, once you're able to, oh, they send a letter to you, oh, they send a mail to you, you should be able to ask questions. Definitely, there will be a phone number. There will be a phone number. There will always be a means of communication back to that particular company. You should be able to ask some question that is not clear to you. So establish a clear communication channels, protocol, including a regular meeting and collaboration tools. So those are the things that can remove the bottlenecks in recruitment processes. We must not forget, our communication must be top notch. Then our channels, our protocols, including a regular meeting and collaboration tools. We must have those things at the back of our mind. Now let's go to the fourth point. The fourth point. Hello, fourth point. Now, cultural and time zone differences. Cultural and time zone differences. You understand? Oh, we have some continents, as I'm talking to you now, they are sleeping. As I am talking to you now, they are doing one thing or the other. But our time zone is quite different for one another. Even in America that we're talking about today, even in that particular country, they have a different time zone, and different cultural background and values. So, having said that, Promote cultural awareness, flexibility in working hours, and use overlapping hours for real-time communication. Now we are meeting communication again. That's why I said initially that communication is key. Communication is key. If there's a particular friend they are not communicating, if there's an husband and wife they are not communicating, if there's a boss, there's a reportee, they are not communicating, definitely there's going to be a particular problem. There's going to be problem, definitely. So to remove bottlenecks, we must promote what we call cultural awareness. Cultural awareness. Oh, I'm going for an interview, then you must know the culture of that particular company. Then you must know the flexibility.
Mr. Olushola, please, you have a few minutes left. Thank you.
Oh. Let me, sorry, sorry for taking time. Then insufficient risk management. Insufficient risk management. Let me tell you, in business of today, everything we do is risk. Everything we do is risk. And we have some people that they are very phobia. To do this, even to attend meeting, is a problem. Even to attend to colleagues is a problem. So we must, if to remove the bottleneck in recruitment processes, we need to do away with what we call insufficient risk management. Yeah, many of things we do nowadays is risk, so we have to take the risk, but it has to be a calculated risk. It has to do with a calculated risk. So let me go to the last point. Let me go to the last point. The last point is lack of continuous improvement. That is lack of continuous improvement. At every particular point in time, we must improve on whatever we do. We must improve. As a student, you are having difficulty in one course or the other, you must strive to improve. Even as an employer, you having one challenge or the other in a certain department, you must learn how to improve or how to find a solution to the problem in that particular unit. Implement a process for regular reviews, feedback, and performance assessment to encourage innovation and adaptability. There's what we call KPI, that's key performance index or key performance indices. With your KPI, you'll be able to know that, oh, how am I faring? Oh, how am I doing? Oh, these are the areas that I need to improve. These are the areas that I need to complement. These are the areas that I need to slow down on what I'm doing. There are some instances that we say that, oh, no, for this you have to take it easy. You have to take it easy for you have to take it easy. Then we have what we call checklists as well. Is one of the ways that we can improve ourselves. We don't only have a checklist in a particular place. The checklist will guide you. The checklist will guide you on what you need to do in that particular area. As a cleaner in a particular in an organization, there's a checklist. Oh, I've done this. I've taken it. Even in an open office, in finance and account, oh, there's a checklist for, okay, have I seen the register? Have I checked this? Have I checked that? There's always a room for improvement. And nobody on this surface of the earth that cannot improve. That cannot improve. So improvement is something that will continue to experience. Is what we'll continue to experience at every particular point in time. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Wow.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
There you, Mr. Oyetola.
Okay.
Yes, thank you for the section. I mean, it's worthwhile. Thank you for your time and effort. So we appreciate it. Quickly, we go to question and answer section. So if you have any question, kindly use the activity button where there you will see the question and answer. The activity button is the one that has the triangle, rectangle, and a circle underneath. So just click on it, you will see the question and answer icon. Click on it and type in your question. So quickly, we have some questions, 1 or 2 questions here. Please kindly drop in your question. It's time for question and answer. If you have any question, drop it in the question and answer section. Again, the activities box is the icon with a triangle and then square and circle underneath. Please click on it, you'll see the question and answer button. Okay, we have a question here. I think this question is for Miss Ifeanyi. This is coming from Omuneme Nebulisa. I hope I'm right with the pronunciation. I think properly known as Ernest. Is it Miss Jessie Ifeanyi? Are you there? Miss Jessie Ifeanyi. Okay, so I think this question is for you. Is it okay to ask about salary for an internship position in Europe setting? Is it okay to ask for salary for an internship position in Europe setting? If yes, how best can someone put the question in order not to mess up? I think this is a very good question. This is a very good question. So Miss Ifeanyi, you can go ahead. Thank you.
Okay. When a job is advertised, most times, especially for internship, it is stated whether it is a free internship or a paid internship. Okay. Some internship comes with scholarship, some come with even the transport fare, while some don't come at all. Now, in the case where nothing was stated in the advert for that internship and you were called for an interview, it is all right to ask. You can ask like this. You can say, okay, after the whole interview process, we talk back and forth. You can say, so while reviewing this interview, while applying, I noticed that nothing was stated as regards compensation or when it comes to the conduciveness of the training process. I would like to know what we can expect, what I can expect on that end, and how the program is structured to make sure that we are well catered for throughout the process and our motivation stays throughout. Okay, so this shows that you are asking because you know it wasn't stated and because you want to be motivated throughout the whole process. Okay, I hope that answers the question.
I also at my end too. Well, thank you very much for that swift response. It's a very good one. Okay, while we wait for others to drop their questions, I'll invite Mr. Ben to quickly do a short talk about the speakers. Please drop in your question and answer, and also check the chat box to check our channel, the Xseler channel, and the social media handles. Please do well to join us. Follow us on our social handles, and there you will see the recorded version or the recorded section of today's program. Please do well to just follow us on social media. Thank you. So I call on Mr. Ben to handle the next section.
Yeah, good afternoon. I bring to you few announcements. Two of the announcements is from our facilitators. The first one is about Caliph Academy. So Caliph Academy is an academy that's into full stack web development, back-end web development, product design, data analysis, cybersecurity, motion graphics, mobile
app development. So, in today's world, we are in the world of IT. So if you are interested, so a flyer will be displayed right now. So if you're interested, so you can contact the phone number on the flyer, or you can also visit their website. So okay, we have the flyer here. So I don't know if you can zoom the flyer so that they can see. So you can contact, the phone number is let me check it here. So the phone number is 0816994171. 0816994171. So that's for that. So our second announcement, what I have here also, from one of our facilitators also, he has a lot of link with people that owns company and people that are in HR departments. So a link will be sent. I don't know if they have sent a link already, but they're going to send the link now. So the link is the attendance link. So you can use this link you're going to put your name so that we can send you the attendance. We're going to send you a kind of certificate to show that, okay, you attend this webinar. That's one. And also, in that link, you can also submit your CV. So this CV will be distributed to some of the facilitator friends that owns different companies and also that are in HR department. So if your CV, if it match with any of the available role in which they might have any of the vacancy, so they're going to get in touch with you. So please don't forget to sign the attendance form in the link that will be sent now, so that you can get your certificate, and also so that your CV will be collected, then it will be distributed, and they will get back to you regarding that. And also, don't forget to join our channel. It's very, very important. It's very, very important. Don't forget to join our website channel, our WhatsApp channel. So in our WhatsApp channel, here you have different job updates. Like a lot of jobs are being posted almost every day. So you have different job updates. So you see the one that match your skill, then you apply. So, and also don't forget to join our social media link, our Facebook, our Instagram, and the likes. So we're also going to send you a link also so that you can join that. So, and for that, for our Instagram, you can just go to instagram.com then /Xseler. For our Facebook, facebook.com /Xseler. And our health also, s.com /Xseler. So please don't forget to do that. So back to you, Miss Esther. Thank you.
I hope you can all hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you clearly. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for the announcements. Please do well to make use of that opportunity. Okay, we have another question here. I think the question should be for Mr. Adebayo. Yes. This question goes to Mr. Adebayo. Mr. Adebayo, please, are you there?
Yes, please. I'm here.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So here you have a question from Benita. From Benita. The question is, when writing an academic CV for a master's degree program, okay, this is for a master, this is for academic CV, okay. Is it necessary to include the work experience, knowing that your work experience do not collect with what you are applying for? I don't know if you understand the question, or should I retake it, Mr. Adebayo?
Yeah, I get it.
Okay.
It is not necessary to include those work experience that doesn't match with your course you're applying for. Although from the undergraduate degree, for example, if you are a science student, even those work you do in the lab, you could form it as a work experience. Though it should be, you regard it as a non-paid work experience. So whatever you do in the undergraduate, so it's also part of the work experience. But in case you are not sure of yourself, so you can just remove it totally. Because even when I got my scholarship for my master's degree, I didn't add any work experience. I still got in. So let your GP and other things speak for you. I know it.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Adebayo, for the answer. Please, if you have any question, kindly drop it because we'll be rounding up now. We are giving like 1 minute for another opportunity to ask question. Please, if you have question, kindly drop it. Okay, there is another question here. Can I send my CV later since it's not yet ready? Okay. Yes, you can
Sure.
send it in later. Thank you. Thank you. I think I'm seeing another question here. Sorry, I'm trying to display it. Oops. Just a moment, please. Okay, I think it's just the previous question, not a new one. So please, all links will be dropped in our channel. Try as much as possible to join them so that you can get the benefits. Like, for example, the recorded section is going to be displayed on the. Okay, I have another question here. Is it advisable to ask for salary range during an international interview? I think the question has been answered before by Miss Jessie Ifeanyi. I think the question has been answered. You can just listen to the recorded section and have an answer to it. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope you've learned 1 or 2 things. Please, if you have gotten 1 or 2 things as a result of joining this program, can you just use your best emoji? Can you just drop what you've learned during the course of the program, even in the chat box? Let's quickly do that to know if it is worthwhile. Please drop your best emoji. Drop what you've learned during the course of the program while I call on Mr. Ben for the closing speech. I call on Mr. Ben for the closing speech. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for.
Yeah, a big thanks to our facilitators and everyone that joins today's webinar. Your participation and your enthusiasm, we are really appreciated. And if you have any further questions or you need any additional support, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. So we look forward to seeing you at future events. Have a great day. Thank you so much. Bye.
We look forward to having you around for any of our future events. Just try to join us via our channels for updates. Okay, I can see Omowumi Akinshikbe raising a hand. Can you drop your message in the chat box? Okay, I think I can see Alinde Rachel as well. Please drop your message in it. Okay. Odetunde Rachel is asking. You can just join our channel and then you see more all the answers to your question. Someone asks a related question. Thank you very much for joining. We appreciate your time and efforts. I know you're a big fan. Thank you for joining us. Please enjoy the rest of the evening and remember to practice what you've learned today. Thank you. See you in the next event. Thank you. Thank you, Omawumi Akishikwe. Thank you, Alinde Rachel. Thank you, Mr. Adebayo Ismaeel. Thank you, Ms. Jessie Ifeanyi. Thank you, Mr. Olushola. Omawumi Akishikwe. mean, we've come to the end of the meeting. Thanks for joining.